content creators. Now, um, domestic violence is not a good thing, no matter what the form, no matter what it looks like, no matter however people think, even in entertainment circumstances, like, because remember, YouTube is seen as an entertainment space. Now, kings or queens, Rose and Brett. Now, Rose ideally do antagonize, push and push and push and push. She does a lot of things. She seems to come over like she's lost. She doesn't know who she is as a person. She's she's even to the children that she's raising, she does like really spontaneous things sometimes. Sometimes you have to think what it looks like is like a mental health situation, because she seems to come over like she has a mental health situation, whatever the mental health is, right? Now, bear in mind, she's been doing a lot of things for years, bigging up one race over the other, being that she is with a white man and all sorts of things, right? Now, I have friends who go out, who's literally going out with white men, and they do not behave like that. They don't behave like that. They don't lose who they are. They kind of, if anything, I think they kind of enhance their life in other ways. This lady don't come over like that. Why I say that? Because every time a reaction's done of her, commentary's done on her, she sees the people as hate pages. So even if you are saying stuff that might even help her as a person, her mental capacity doesn't get whatever the reactor is saying. Mind you, she's been pushing this race thing for a long time, over the one that she left, or divorced or whatever. On top of that, right, it's like what she was running away from, she's actually got in her life right now. So all those things what she said about black men, whatever, being a certain way, she actually have that present in her space. Now, I don't know the ins and outs of the story. I have heard bits and pieces along the way, yes. I still come to one conclusion, right? That man, what he should have done, right, even if she was pushing him over the edge, once again, it comes down to how men react, especially if you have a partner who's very antagonizing and there is a breakdown in the relationship, because relationships can break down in different forms and different ways and all sorts of ways as well. Now, mind you, he should have literally, right, just said, you know what, I'm going out. I'm going out, right? I'm going out. Because there have been times when she's just come on here and says, don't pretend this is that, and I maintain this. She said that how she has this wealth of money and stuff like that, but on the surface of it, it doesn't look like it. Now, many influencers, content creators, all right, you can literally tell when they are in a good space, because it shows in the living space, it shows in the relationship and everything else. In this case, it's all well and good you're there running away from one problem and running all the way to Hawaii, but bear in mind that how that same problem is going to follow you wherever you go. And I feel that she has not got that maturity to come into certain things. Rose come over very entitled. She's another entitled one that's on the YouTube streets, very entitled. Obviously she wants out of that relationship. You can really tell, because when I watch Queen Blamar, and she keeps mentioning, oh, there's a man in the chat, or there's this man in the chat. Now, if you are a married woman, now for what I know of married women, right, they don't do, some married women wouldn't do that, especially if your man is sitting right there. She really antagonizes the man. And no, I'm not taking his side, because he's in the wrong too. They're just as bad as each other. And domestic violence should not come to a place where it is domestic violence have to be the answer to everything. The answer to everything and anything and everything. Because that's not the way. On top of that, there's children there. Now, on one of the videos that Queen Blamar showed, you see the little boy step in. Now, boys naturally protect their mothers. They naturally have an instinct to protect their mothers. So I don't know which son that was that stepped in the way of whatever was coming. But you do see the little arm come out to protect his mum as Brett rushes forward to her. Then I think the next thing as well is that the fact that the next day Brett comes out with a stick and a bag, then he's putting on a tear on his face and all sorts of foolishness. Like, so as we know from before, they've had their little fallouts, and then later on the next day they're laughing off, or they're laughing at the audience. To me, that is not cool at all, on no level. Not only that, they're monetizing domestic violence. Right? Anybody who's grown up in a domestic violence house, okay? Because remember, people don't sell everything what's happened to them on the YouTube streets. They don't tell you everything what's happened in the chats. They don't tell you what's happened in certain spaces, okay? So there's you now showing this on the YouTube, right? Monetizing. So you're getting paid for showing domestic violence, right? You're not only that, right? You're showing that you as a person cannot reason with the father of your children, though it looks like the family is trying to meet you halfway. Because every time she shows, she complains about, oh, this, that, and the other. The last thing I remember watching from Queen Blamar as well, because Queen Blamar has really been on it. I on the other hand, I would watch with the reactors with these people. I am not gonna react on them, because I feel that the lady is unhinged. She's another unhinged lady. Remember, not all people, the elevator goes up to the top, right? Some people think that how when you're on YouTube that you can do whatever and get away with it. Mind you, YouTube does allow a lot of foolishness to come onto YouTube, and people get away with a lot of things. Now, the fact that how the man rushed her, right? Because in England, they call that's a rush. He galloped at her, literally. His whole face changed, his whole demeanor changed. In his eyes change. If you look at the video properly, you can see his whole demeanor change, right? And he is a very tall guy. He's almost 6 foot. He's very hench, because we call that hench. Very built man, right? And he's normally quite like, he kind of laughs off her foolishness and whatever. In the video, what Queen Blamar shows, right? He's standing near the kitchen, in front of the kitchen, and he's got his top off, and he's got this look on his face. he's got this look on his face, right? First of all, that's the first thing you have to look at when you're looking at these things, because like people can't, like, the camera doesn't hide a lot. Facial expressions is the biggest giveaway. The eyes of the, what's it, the soul, the eyes to the soul, in it, right? His eyes had a look in his eyes, his facial expressions was different. And then it's like he must have walked off, and then it's like she followed him with the camera. And then as she's following him, the camera's panned down, it's mute, right? So we don't know what is being said at this time. They could have been arguing, big time arguing at this point. And then the next thing you know, when she puts up the camera, his whole face is mad, like he's furious, he's mad, right? He's mad. And it's like he rushes like a bull. You know how a bull will rush a person? Now, that alone is very dangerous, because if he's doing that, and that's on them two one-to-one, even though she have the live on, heaven knows what goes on when the camera's switched off. Okay, because you have to bear in mind, people, when they could be one way behind these cameras and another way when the camera's switched off. Okay, and he just had this look on his face, his look was mad. He was crazy mad. And the fact that she come on like as though nothing happened. In domestic violence as well, DV, sorry, I keep saying domestic. In DV, right, some women would notify that as love. Being hit, being beaten, that is love. No, it's not love. You can have a child for a man. It doesn't necessarily mean the man's going to perform a certain way, he's going to be a certain way, he's going to be better than the man, whatever. Like, you have to be careful who you are sleeping with. They always, what's it, sleeping with the enemy, as they call it. I am just like, it's very much giving, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how to put it into words at this present moment, but I'm going to also repost Blanca's reading on them, because I think Neo also done a reading on them as well, Neo Tarot. So it's very deep what's going on in that household, right? We cannot even measure how much was going on in that household. We can only tell by what's going on screen at the time. And she does literally push people over the edge, right? And because your mum was in DV doesn't mean to say that how you have to be in a DV relationship. Some women, in fact, try their best not to be in that position because they know how much it affected them as children. So they will want to put their children in that same position. And it's interesting that how she's very nonchalant about it. I don't know. I mean, I'm just gonna watch. I mean, family abuse, or however they call it, is still domestic abuse. It don't matter how you word it. It's the same. It comes down to the same thing. And the fact that how, right, it's monetized, because remember, there's another person who thought that fighting with the man was normal. It's not normal when you're doing that. That's not a normal thing. If you and your man is fighting, that's when you know you need to come out of that house. Because the next thing you know, right, you're going to be on the live. Your children's going to be on the live. This has been known to happen on social platforms where, like, the man has said he's going to honor live the children, or the woman's honor live the man. This can go any which way. Just because it's YouTube doesn't mean to say it's not impossible that it's not going to happen. Because when people turn on the lives and they are doing what they're doing, They're not bearing in mind that how on the other side of the device, sometimes people wants to get away from their lives, sometimes they want information, sometimes they want all sorts of things. And if you are doing this, right, you are not doing yourself justice, and you're not doing the people who's the audience justice, the subbies, none of them. And I don't know how it goes in Hawaii, because I know from like, and I always refer to Nature Boy and several things, because Nature Boy is the thing of domestic violence, or DV, because that was one of his things where like Velvet will get hit or whatever, and then the next day she's on there saying, "Oh, my king and my whatever, whatever, my husband and my husband and my husband." You don't let it go much further than what it is. And if like they're gonna make a skit after this, there's something wrong with the both of them. They are mentally gone in the head. The two of them. Okay, Brett and Rose. Mentally gone. Because that's the only thing I could come down to this at this point. Like I said, domestic in any form, fashion, whatever, is not good. And it doesn't matter what part of the world you are in, that's when you know that you need to walk away and get out of that relationship right away. Because he is a very big guy. Okay, he looks like he's 6 foot, built like a brick house. And this lady is very little lady. She's not a big lady, she's a very small lady. And is one of those ones that if the hit is done in the wrong way, it can mean death at this point. Okay, and I feel this lady needs to consider a lot of things. She needs to sit down and review and look at certain stuff and think about a lot of stuff, because it's not on what is going on at all. And I'm not, and at this point, it's not about the judging, it's about not only there's children there. Boy children are like this year, because like if you listen to men how they talk, and you have sons, if they see certain things going on, right, they'll say is normal or not normal. Or if a man's growing up in a domestic thing, right, he will say that he was the one who had to stand up and fight for his mother. All right. And most of the time later on in life, the boys go and they be the ones hitting the women in their lives. So it's quite deep. It's psychologically not good at all. Okay, for a boy to grow up in such an environment, will be a boy or girl, to grow up in that environment, because then even to the girl will see it as normal. Oh, he hits me because he loves me. No, he don't love you. He don't love you. Right? You could be with a man for several years and there could be nothing there. You can be with a man for 4 months and there'll be nothing there. You could be with a man for all length or time and the man will feel nothing for you, especially if he has been dealt with you in this fashion. Okay? So this lady needs to go and sit and review and look and look at certain stuff. It's not about coming on here and flossing and saying, oh, we got 2K and da da da. You can't. You see, when you go in that grave, yeah, the money don't follow you into that grave. Yeah, there's just you and the gravel and the coffin. That's in the. That's there, right? You can't. You can't. You can't. You can't. You can't bury money with you. All right. The most money can do is make sure that how you have a good send off. And people need to think about these things when they're on these social media platforms, YouTube, TikTok, whatever. Right. It's not good. It's not right. And in myself, right, as I get older and I look back at certain things and I think, wow, like you really have to review your life sometime as you get older. Because I know this lady ain't no 20-year-old, or she's probably in her 30s and stuff like that. You have five, was it 4 or 5 children that you got to live for, and you cannot be sitting on YouTube and thinking that how, oh yeah, right, oh yeah, right, I'm gonna save the man or whatever. The man literally ran up to, well, he charged at you. That's what I say. That's what it looked like to me. He charged at you. In English terms, he rushed you, right? And in fact, it could have been. It could, like I said, it could have gone the other way, right? Your audience could have witnessed you being unalived on that same live, and whether you care to take it in or understand or whatever, I don't know. When you're gonna understand some things, you come on here, you do the most anyway. This is the first time I'm talking about you, I think, or second time. No, I don't even think I ever spoke about you the first time. I think I put you on my flipping community tab. This is the first time I'm talking about you. And because you have boys, doesn't matter whether they're black, white, interracial, mixed race, whatever, biracial, whatever, yellow, brown, purple, blue, whatever. It comes down to this, right? You, like, your children, if they see that happen or you being on a live, it's gonna really affect them real bad. It's gonna affect them bad. On top of that, they could take them into care, right? And you're not guaranteed that they're gonna end up in a good place or whatever. They will separate them, all sorts of stuff. Nothing's guaranteed. So you have to have a reality check on certain stuff. YouTube is not, when you put on YouTube, it's not entertainment purposes. No, ain't not entertainment purposes. Ain't no monetizing that BS. So with that said, I'm gonna come off, and I'll see you in the next one. I know I'm supposed to do the Prime Minister, but I don't know. I might have to pre-record it or something. With that said, I'm gonna come off, and I'll see you in the next one. Please tell me what you think of the Queen of Kings situation. Because to me, that's not good. I don't care whether it's white, black, purple, in different whatever. Okay, so domestic is not good. It's not good. It's wrong on so many levels, and there's so many different, so many abuses. There's financial abuse. There's physical abuse. There's mental abuse. There's all sorts. Okay, and I think Rose actually needs to go and get help personally. She needs to go and get help. Okay, because I don't know, right? I ain't gonna say much, right? But yeah. So with that said, I will leave it there. Have a good day, a good morning, a good afternoon. Take care. Bye.